Welcome to Counterpoint. I am David Clement, guest hosting for Tanya Granick-Allen. Patrick Brown has been disqualified from the Conservative leadership race over alleged misconduct regarding how his campaign staff were paid. While not considered the frontrunner, Brown's departure is certainly going to have an impact on the race. Joining me to discuss Brown's disqualification and how that will shape the race for the Conservative Party's next leader are Sabrina Maddeaux, columnist with the National Post, and Rudy Husny, consultant and former CPC leadership candidate. Thank you very much for joining me on Counterpoint.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
So, right off the bat, what are the allegations at play here? What exactly are the facts surrounding his disqualification?
I'll take this one. Part of the problem is that the facts are still a bit murky, and that's because the Conservative Leadership Committee hasn't come forward. They say they can't because the matter's with Elections Canada at the moment, with the exact details of the allegations that led them to disqualify Brown. He was disqualified, apparently from what we know in media sources, because of concerns with his campaign finances. Particularly, it seems the allegation is that a private corporation or company was paying for the salary of one of his campaign staffers, and the arrangement might have been that the staffer was on the payroll of the company and was then volunteering while on company time with the Brown campaign. But again, a lot of these facts are disputed. There's a lot of theories out there, and the bottom line is the public just doesn't know, which is a big problem.
And so, Rudy, you've been a leadership candidate yourself. If those allegations are in fact true, how big of a faux pas is that?
Look, I believe the rules are very clear. You're either a volunteer, and if you're a volunteer, you do it outside of your normal work hours. And if you are not, you need to be paid by a campaign and not by a third party. This is what is my understanding of the allegations. Obviously, yes, we are lacking transparency in that matter, but also, as you know, it is now with Election Canada to investigate. But look, the rules are clear, and it's not only the Conservative Party of Canada rules. Those are Elections Canada rules in terms of financing, and that's why that matter was very serious. I believe that, LEOC needed to act, but obviously, in terms of transparency, we would have expected and we would want to have more information to know exactly what happened.
And so, Sabrina, one of the questions for LEOC was whether or not to wait until Elections Canada had investigated to choose to disqualify candidate Brown. Do you think that that their course of action was the right one, or should they have waited to see what the end result of Elections Canada's investigation is before deciding to disqualify Brown from the race?
It's a really double-edged sword for them. From their perspective, as we know, investigations can take a long time. And so their concern was if the Elections Canada investigation went on beyond September 10th, which is the date the new leader will be selected, and Patrick Brown has to be disqualified retroactively, what happens to his ballots? That could end up being an even bigger mess. But then on the flip side, we now have a situation where allegations have not been proven. People aren't even really sure what the allegations are. And that's also causing a major issue, especially because the Brown campaign has been able to capitalize on that lack of transparency and clarity by saying this is undemocratic, that his supporters have been disenfranchised. And that's really harmful for the party as well. It makes things look like a bit of a circus, and it hurts their credibility.
What type of impact do you think this is going to have? Is this something that disenfranchises those new Conservatives?
Yes, I believe in all of this. It's not a good day, and it wasn't a good day and a good week in terms of for the Conservative Party of Canada, in terms of our brand. Patrick Brown was a good candidate in terms of he was deliberately doing an outreach to certain communities and in specific ridings that we lost in the last two elections. And he was able to attract a lot of new members inside the party. As you know, the Conservative Party of Canada is a big tent. Mm-hmm. It's a coalition.